Welcome to the foreclosuredeals.com video guide on how to appraise a house. This video is meant to walk homeowners and investors through the process of appraising a house themselves. We'll explain why a house appraisal is necessary, as well as the benefits of a self-appraisal versus other options. Then we'll provide a step-by-step process of completing an appraisal based on guidelines used by professional house appraisers. Before buying or selling a house, it must first be appraised in order to determine its worth on the open market. Regardless of whether you are on the buying or the selling end of a deal, a lender does not want to loan more than what the property is actually worth. Therefore, banks use a property's appraisal as a gauge on which to base their approved loan amount minus the down payment. This rule of thumb used by lending institutions makes acquiring an appraisal obligatory before the house can be placed on the open market. The evaluation of the house's overall condition, special amenities, and its comparative value in relation to surrounding houses are all used to determine the property's market value. Many people choose to hire a licensed appraiser because it's more convenient, or because individuals are unsure of how to appraise their own property. However, hiring a professional appraiser can cost hundreds of dollars and decrease the overall profit from a sale. You can also obtain a comparative market analysis, which is similar to an appraisal, through a real estate agent. Although this service is normally without cost, it usually requires that the property be listed with the agent providing the analysis. Accepting these terms could limit your buying or selling opportunities by contractually tying your hands from a self-sale. It will also decrease your overall profit due to real estate agency fees. Another option is to appraise a house yourself. Self-appraisals are a bit more time-consuming, but they can easily pay good dividends through money saved in fees normally paid to a professional appraiser or realtor. Although requiring some time, a self-appraisal is not that difficult if you have the right tools and follow industry standards. The following methods should be used to appraise your own house. These are the same tools used by professional licensed house appraisers. Step 1. Fully understand the meaning of a house appraisal. A house's appraised value is an opinion of its worth based on set criteria used industry-wide at the time of the appraisal. This figure of value is a calculated amount based on what a typical buyer would pay according to current market trends. However, the appraisal is not set in stone, and the house's value could easily change in a few weeks' time. For example, economic situations can arise causing nationwide or local markets to change. Houses appraised today could come to be appraised at higher or lower amounts due to these shifts in the market. The 2007-2008 economic downturn is a prime example of this occurring in most housing markets across the country. Properties that were worth $100,000, for example, were greatly reduced in value overnight. In this same economic situation, however, houses bought based on low market appraisals could easily increase suddenly when the market rebounds. Step 2. Calculate the house's square footage. Property tax records will often show your house's square footage, in which case obtaining this information is quite easy. To access property tax records, obtain as much information on the property as possible and go online to the county government's website in which the property is located. Next, access the web page of the county auditor, as all property tax records within the county are kept by this office. However, if tax records do not contain the house's square footage, you will need to measure all the rooms of the house and calculate the house's total square footage yourself. Normally, a house's square footage includes all areas which are covered and supported by roof trusses, but excludes garages. However, guidelines can vary from state to state or county to county, so it is best to check with the Area Realtors Association for the standards that pertain to local square footage listings. Step 3. List the amenities of the house. A house's value is increased or decreased against the value of similar houses in the neighborhood or area based on extra amenities which the house has or lacks in comparison with those of other houses. List such things as fireplaces, granite countertops, tiled roofing, landscaping, swimming pools, and additional garages. Property geography is also important. For example, if your house has a pond behind it and an equivalent house across the street is backed against a hillside, then your property will hold a higher value even though all other amenities are the same. Step 4. Research recently sold properties. Create a list of houses that have sold within the past 6 months in the same area as your house. Place properties at the top of your list which are relatively close to yours and have a similar, if not the same, floor plan as your house. Step 5. Cull your list according to similarities. From your list of recently sold properties, choose the top 3 that are of similar location, age, size, and amenities as your house. Ideally, you want houses that possess the same neighborhood and qualities, but this isn't always possible, in which case get as close as you can. If your house happens to be in a housing development where all houses are basically identical, then you may need to do nothing more than obtain sold prices. These types of developments often have as little as 2% in price variation due to their similarities. The size of comparable houses should be within 200 square feet of your house, and you should have at least 5 or 6 qualities that are comparable. Step 6. Determine your house's appraised value. List the actual sold price of each of the 3 other properties and add or subtract from those prices according to comparisons between your house's amenities and theirs. For example, if your house has a new stone fireplace, you would add a value to the compared house's sold price. The same works in reverse. If your house does not have a fireplace but the compared house does, you would subtract a value from the sold price. However, the value you add or subtract is not the full cost of the amenity but a fraction of its full value. In order to determine the correct value to add or subtract, check regional and local markets for adjustment percentages. For instance, the current market value for adding a fireplace. Once you have made adjustments to the top 3 houses on your list, average the adjusted costs of the 3 and you will have an estimated appraised value for your house. You are now ready to place your house on the market. This concludes the ForeclosureDeals.com video on how to appraise a house. To receive the latest news on the real estate industry, follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook. You can also follow our RSS feed. If you would like to know more about how to appraise a house or foreclosures in general, visit ForeclosureDeals.com. If it's not a deal, we won't list it here.